Shilinge left Congo as a child without his parents. He's been in Germany for 4 years and is now a young adult. The massive influx of young refugees is a huge challenge for Germany. This year alone, some 30,000 unaccompanied teenagers have arrived, raising questions about how successful their integration will be. Are there enough teachers, enough professional training schemes? Job prospects are grim. Around 40% of those who arrived 10 years ago are still without work. Shilinge is one of the happy few to have at least found an apprenticeship. It's been a long and difficult road, but his boss is supportive. You'll make it, he encourages him.
It's all about language. Language is the key. You need this key to open up the door to your new life. In the beginning, I couldn't. Well, I said, "Oh God, where am I?" I was almost crying. I mean, of course, I wasn't really crying, but somewhere deep inside there were tears. I asked myself, "Hey man, what kind of a decision have you taken?" It was really hard. I'm still thinking about what's next. In the future, it would be just great to open my own bakery, but it's difficult to get there. First, I need to pass all those exams to take my Master Baker's diploma. That's quite a challenge.
In Bonn, we meet the director of the city's Youth Welfare Office. He welcomes some of the changes in a new asylum law in force from November. Unaccompanied minor refugees are to be distributed more evenly across the country, relieving pressure on the major cities.
Well, we have to admit that we were overrun and surprised by the huge numbers. Up to now, we've had big problems finding housing for them, and we've also had problems providing all the human resources needed to look after such numbers of young people.
This group of underage boys travelled thousands of kilometres from Afghanistan and Syria, reaching Bonn a few days ago. They're extremely well protected under German law. It took Euronews several months to get permission to film them. We can't show their faces or reveal their identities. This kickabout is not just about football. They're learning German from their translators at the same time. One tells us why he left his parents in Afghanistan.
For such a long and risky journey, it's easier to find a way to get through on your own without parents. I'm young, that's an advantage. But the main reason for going alone was the lack of money. My parents live in a rural area. There wasn't enough money for the whole family to travel. My parents couldn't pay for everyone, so they sent me alone.
Social worker Yasmin from Turkey shares accommodation with the boys and is present for them day and night. Access to healthcare is a complicated and sensitive issue. There's a big debate in Germany about giving health cards to refugees.
We are talking about people between, in our house, there are people between 14 and 18. And most of the stuff which has to be done by the parents normally, we are doing it. Even going to doctor is pretty tough. They don't have insurance yet. They don't have these insurance cards yet. How can you go to doctor without it? They don't even have identities.
This building, close to Bonn's main train station, once sheltered homeless alcoholics and drug addicts. A Protestant church group converted it into a home for underage refugees. Morad and Taim show us around. Their welcome kit includes an Arabic-German dictionary. Murad's parents left Syria for Jordan and sent their 16-year-old son on to Germany.
It's a very sad feeling to be separated from my family. But on the other hand, I feel optimistic, knowing that I have a chance to become someone in the future, and that it's helping me to go on and to stay strong. My plan is to stay here permanently and go to university. I'll bring my family to Germany too. That's all I want.
The psychologist and the director of the shelter agree. Teenage refugees stranded without parents in a foreign country need close attention and someone to listen to them. But with more and more minors arriving, providing these services is increasingly difficult.
Well, at this point we have too much work and we're all stressed, no question. A lot of our colleagues are working at their limit. They're really under pressure, but not yet at breaking point. But as a society as a whole, we're not permanently overstressed. We can do it.
Hassan has Kurdish roots and has just finished his psychology studies. This is his first job contract. Not all of the arriving teenagers come from war zones, he points out, but those who do are the most heavily traumatized.
They have fears. Sometimes they cry and shed tears in their room. We've observed such phenomena. Some of them sleep with the lights on. They can't sleep in the dark. Quite often we have to deal with broken families. Their mother is somewhere in Turkey, the father could be somewhere else, involved in war or dead. And the young refugees are here. Their world no longer exists.
Under German law, underage migrants must be reunited with their parents. It's claimed some parents send their teenage sons ahead as door openers. In Taim's case, he just wants to get his widowed mother out of battle-ravaged Aleppo in Syria as soon as possible.
My feeling when arriving in Germany was one of great happiness, as I saw how safe it was. Now I'm far away from the bombs and the dangerous situation in our city. We lived there without electricity, without water. A lot of my relatives died there. Now I can achieve something in my life.
But it's getting harder to find language teachers and foster families for teenagers like Taim. City Without Borders is a pilot project being developed with the talents of these smartphone-smart refugee kids. Taim and his friends have been tasked with creating a multilingual app providing basic information on housing, medical care and residency permits. It will explain Germany's system of legal guardians for unaccompanied minors. Ahmad, who's just arrived from Afghanistan, records the Dari version.
There's huge destruction all over Afghanistan. My personal dream is to become a construction engineer. If I succeed, maybe I could help to rebuild and reconstruct my home country. One day, who knows?
Faisal is also from Afghanistan. At just 15, his father entrusted him to a man to bring him to Europe. Faisal had no idea of his final destination, Germany. Today, he's a grown man in charge of a project explaining to new arrivals how to use the public transport system. He knows life in Germany is not paradise, but an existence of many challenges.
I've been here almost 3 years now. My first request for asylum was refused, but I still keep on trying. I'd like to sign an apprenticeship contract. I tried several times, but just got rejections because I don't have a permanent residency permit. Most companies want people with a permanent residence permit.
Faisal explained all this to the German Chancellor when he met her once. A Bonn-based NGO backs refugees without papers, connecting them to local craftsmen. Faisal is going to start a work experience placement with a mechanic. The future of many other refugees is unclear. Many could be sent home soon, even to Afghanistan. My paradise, in your eyes I can see my paradise.